celebrate this official opening, I suppose, of what is a very unique sporting event, the Open International Cup, that has 16 countries from around the world preparing to play on Wednesday, and the opening round is pretty special when you look to where the game might end up in the future. 5 brand new countries to have India, the peace team from Israel and Palestine. You've got China, Sweden and Finland here for the first time. So the most countries we've ever had. We've even got some teams from Team Asia and Team Africa who are people have just come to our country the last couple of years who will play in a multicultural section. So this is a great celebration, we think, of our game in our 150th year. What better way than to have the world now embracing it. Now there are more than 40,000 players around the world in 30 countries that are having a kick. We welcome everyone to come down to Royal Park there on Wednesday as it kicks off. We'll then head to Geelong later in the week and even down to Warrnambool. Nathan Buckley, who's an AFL ambassador now, has just met some of the captains who'll join us here on the ground in a second, and he's looking forward to it, no doubt.
I just met the Finnish captain, and he described themselves as a bunch of misfits that have been brought together from all over the place, and we're looking forward to playing. I notified him that that's no different to football over here. We really drag people from all over the place, from all different walks of life, and make a football team out of them, and ultimately a football club. So to see 16 teams come and play in this competition is fantastic. I must say I haven't had a great deal to do with it until probably the last couple of weeks, and speaking to the captains has been fantastic. They've so much passion and enjoyment. It's so good to see that the game is being spread around the world, and that there'll be some interesting sights, I think, to see these teams take. They've got their own jerseys, they've given themselves their nicknames. They've got their own club songs or national songs that they've moulded from the AFL songs, and it's just the passion of it is fantastic. And I'll be down there Wednesday to have a look.
Have you had a chance to share your experiences as a player with them?
No, not at this stage, but I think the advent of the internet, I mean, we're a lot closer to the rest of the world than we were in the past, and most of these guys have seen a lot of football through that medium, and I saw them walk in. I hadn't met any of the captains, obviously, but they came straight across, and they obviously recognised from watching it over the internet or seeing images of the game, so they know it very well. And they're really keen and looking forward to trying their hand at playing the game against other countries that are in a similar position.
Kevin?
There's no money on smart money. I know Shift is probably the way.
Well, the PNG have been runners-up twice, so they've been very, very close to it. The game's continuing to grow in Papua New Guinea. Some of their better players do play in the AFL Queensland comp, so maybe they're the quiet tip, but you can never underestimate the USA. They've really set themselves for this, and we're very disappointed to miss out on getting in the final in the previous year by just a number of points. So we don't quite know. That's the beauty of this. Not every player has played in this tournament before, so it's a brand new set of players, and we look forward to the way it might unfold.
Hey, Kevin, you said 40,000 players worldwide. Can we see that number growing? What do we expect for the future?
Well, it's hard to know how far it can grow, because this is all in the last decade. In the main, there's some wonderful stories about how the game has started. In Denmark, it was a guy popping an ad in the paper. This was an expat that was dying for kick to kick, and so he put an ad in the paper. Anyone wants a kick to kick, come down to the local park. Well, he got 2 blokes down there to have a kick to kick, and we've now got the Danish Australian Footy League about to celebrate its 20th year in existence. So it all starts in unusual ways, and you'll have to look at the peace team and the way it's been pulled together. So the power of this game is quite enormous, and you wouldn't underestimate us getting to 100,000 very, very quickly in the next number of years.
Kevin, you've travelled around the world and sort of met different players. Are there any sort of footy tragic stories? You know, you hear of these guys that follow over the internet and, you know, they know everything about the different teams in Australia. Any tragic stories?
Well, I think Stephen Malinga from South Africa is my tragic story. We had him up to be interviewed by Kevin Sheehan in South Africa, and Sheehan thought he was about to teach this guy something. And he said, well, who do you barrack for? And Stephen said, well, I barrack for Essendon. Do you know the place? Do I know the place? Scott Lucas hurt his knee at the weekend. We'll probably miss 6 or 7 games. And Sheedy's saying, well, you're telling me something here. And he said, as Bucks pointed out, follows it through the internet, looks at it every day. That's his club. That's the passionate team in which he wants to support. He even knew about Scotty Lucas doesn't like the hand pass that much. We head straight to the goals. He just loves kicking goals, Stephen Malinga. So there's many stories across these individuals that what stands out to us is how much they loved in game, and we're surprised because we're another part of the world. We shouldn't be surprised because the world is such a small place now as Bucks points out through the internet and television. If they do watch disco, they embrace it and love it. They want to show their skills off in the next 10 days.
The best thing for me is the best thing I think I get through this international series, the International Cup, is the fact that I love the game. I've grown up with it, and it's something I have a real passion for. I think it's a great game. I mean, not just the fact that I've enjoyed a great career through the AFL, but how much it's taught me and how important discipline is, basically self-sacrifice for the team, and how much you rely on other people within that environment. I think it's a great teacher for people, and for that to be spread across the world and for other people to have an opportunity and be exposed to it, I think it's fantastic. And just to meet the captains this morning and see the fire in their eye and how keen they are to be over here and in a foreign country. For a lot of them, it's the first time they've visited Australia. They've watched games on the weekend. They'll see, so we'll go down the country, Victoria, down to Geelong and then Warrnambool, see games again on the weekend, be able to play 4 or 5 games of their own against other opposition. I just think it's a great thing. It's a great concept, and the AFL needs to be congratulated for getting that through so many different countries and around the world.
Are we often seeing legitimate players from other countries across the world?
I think that's going to emerge. It's a byproduct of numbers. If you get your participation of 100,000, there's going to be someone elite who get 100,000. There's no doubt. So, timeline on it, it's a bit hard to put the exact timeline on it. It might be a youngster that's 12 at the moment in South Africa, for instance, where they've got 15,000 youngsters now in footy wild. That youngster at 12 that then starts to kick a ball for 3 or 4 years, he'll emerge at 16 or 17 as a very, very talented player. So it might be around that sort of time period, I would think. I reckon that the guys here, they'll go home and coach the next generation of young people. They'll share the passion and love of the game and their skills of the game as coaches, I would think. That someone will emerge. The timeline, it's hard to put the exact timeline on it.
What about footballers as peacemakers for peace teams? Have you had a chance to speak to anyone from the peace team?
I think Kevin's probably the best guy to speak to. He went over there months ago and run training sessions with us. How'd that go?
Fantastic experience. I was there in February, but I've watched the whole thing unfold. Dipper was there with Ron Barassi last month, but this morning they had their presentation of jumpers in the city. It was a special event. You've got people that were, I suppose, the most conflicted area in the world that have come together through sport and are now teammates. They had their first game in Australia yesterday. They played an amateur side at Brighton and got up and won by a goal. You'd think they'd won the AFL Grand Final with the emotion that created within the group and the bonding within the group. And you can see they're clearly a team, and their backgrounds, the diverse backgrounds, are all forgotten as they've come together as a unit. And it's the uniqueness of the new sport that's appealed to them. You know, they all know soccer and basketball. This is a brand new game, so they have to talk to each other and relate to each other to try and work the game out. And that's the circuit breaker, if you like, and that has helped bond them together. And they'll have joint captains, one Palestinian, one Israeli.
Grant Thomas is their coach. They've got co-captains.
Yes, that's right. Yes, so that's the way I'm looking at it.
Different the coach?
Different to the coach.
Different choice of the peace team?
Kev was just describing to me that yesterday when they were playing Brighton, that he was right up the front when they were in front, and then when it looked like they were going to lose, he started edging back behind me after the real coach. Who have we got as the real coach?
Simon Jacobs is the coach of the peace team. And their star player, they had a guy yesterday by the name of Kamal that played at full forward. He's one of the captains. You'll see him here in a minute. He kicked 7 in his first ever game. His first 5 shots were straight through the centre. A left-footed guy, and with the colour of his skin too, we nicknamed him Buddy within the first 10 minutes. He just did not miss and was a very exciting player. And later in the game, Dipper, when the game was in the balance, shifted him to the midfield. He won it through there as well and helped lift us to the line. So Kamal, well, he was a star first up, and we look forward to seeing him play.